Hi and welcome to A Better Place. Today we will be continuing in our series on relationships as I bring you a special guest. Stay tuned, we will be right back. Hi and welcome back to A Better Place. As I mentioned in the intro, today we will be continuing in our discussions on relationships, and today we have a very special guest, or two very special guests, the Baptists with us here. Welcome to A Better Place, Mrs. and Mr. Baptist.
Good afternoon.
So as I mentioned, our series is on relationships, and we have had quite a number of guests, couples, married couples, not married couples, and now it's your turn. So we're going to get right into the interview, and I want to talk a little bit about Mrs. Baptist and Mr. Baptist. So if you can tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we move to Mr. Baptist.
Okay, well, my name is Angelique Baptiste Bosman. I am from St. Martin, French St. Martin, Dutch St. Martin. I'm a borderline kind of person. My profession, I'm a social work by profession. I'm presently at the Department of Community Development, Family and Humanitarian Affairs, whereby I'm also the coordinator for Women's Desk. I'm the mother of 3 kids, daughters all, and I'm married to this wonderful man here for the last 20 plus years.
Nice. And Mr. Baptist.
Okay, Dennis, the name. From St. Martin. I by profession, vocation, calling, pastor, but presently I am teaching, educator basically, teaching religious education and Caribbean history. The MAC, the kids would say MAC High, but it's the Methodist Agoghic Center Secondary School. As Ilincia stated, that we've been married for 22 years with 3 beautiful, wonderful daughters, exciting journey, and love reading, love music, and it's good to be here.
Well, welcome once again to both of you. So tell us about that journey, how you met. How did you know, Ilincia, that this was the man that you wanted to marry?
Wow. How did we meet? I have a younger brother, right? And my husband used to cut hair before, and he lived in town, and I used to take my brother to him to cut hair. And back in the day, and still today, you have guys that are, the kind of rambunctious, the guys that, I don't know, but something special stood out about him. And my mom always used to admire him, actually, because besides cutting hair, he helped his mother. His mother worked at the MAC. She used to clean at the MAC, and my mom always spoke about these guys that would go and help their mom clean the schoolyard. And she was amazed by these young guys. But you would not believe, we actually met at Watty's estate, because I love to dance, and he loves to dance. And that's where we, besides the cutting hair kind of thing, you got a little more interested in each other. And there is where it actually hit off. And we have been together, dating for 2 years, 3 years, before we actually got married. So yes, that's how we met, and I just know, because I think God has placed him there for me. Okay.
That's your story. Okay, let's hear
Same
Mr.
story. Yeah, I think that well, just to add, because it's basically what Ilincia stated. We became friends, and I think that We went everywhere together. We talked about so many different things, and I think it evolved into a relationship. Um, and I think I would just want to add that. I think the friendship played a big role in it, and it evolved. It evolved, and it is still evolving. Yeah, I'll just put that to it. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the main question. So it evolved from friendship to love. And when did you know it was the right time to pose the question? And I know one of my guests who were here before, it was the opposite. The woman posed the question to the man, because I don't know if he was taking too long, but what is your experience?
Well, you're referring to Yalencia at this time? Or?
Actually you, because I'm assuming you proposed.
Okay. Well, yes, I did. In fact, on her birthday, the following year, we engaged, and then the following year we got married, all on her birthday, actually. I think for me personally, you were being exposed to church, to God, etc. You wanted to do the right thing. Not only that, but you felt that, hey, you're ready to settle down, you're ready to develop family, home, etc. Things that I value. And of course, you would want someone who values the same things as well, and that was Elencia. And so, of course, I think that you felt that, hey, it's the right time because you both value the same things. Obviously, you always have questions. Even though you may think, as in my case, that it's the right time, but there's always at the back of your mind, what if, etc. Being young in particular, and of course, getting married at a young age isn't the norm in society. And there were persons who, would have been a little negative in terms of, you think it's the right thing, the right time, etc. But I think my faith played a big role in it, as well as the fact that we both value and still value the same thing, family, etc. So we felt that it was the right time. I don't know if Yalencia would want to add to that, but for me, that led to asking the question, that led to really moving forward with the relationship and making that step, as persons would say. I guess I don't see it as some persons would have in terms of making it a step. It just was the right thing to do. I think I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so Mr. Baptist is talking about being young. How young were you?
Really? Don't go adding up now, but we were, what, 21?
Around that age,
yes,
yeah.
21. So we were pretty young, just starting off life, so we were pretty young.
Okay, let me ask this other question. Were you already in college? Were you studying, or was that not the case?
Not the case back in those days. We both went to college after we had a family, after we were married, so life was a little different for us. Yes.
And how was that? Because normally, nowadays then, we raise our children, we tell them, education is important.
Correct.
You do that first, and you think about family
Correct.
and that step after. So how would you have managed to get married, have a family, and study after that?
I think, if I may say, when you have a very supportive person and not somebody that holds the view that this is for you, this role you exercise, this role, or you carry out this role, and I carry out that role, but your role intersect and they cross each other all the time, I think that makes a big difference, because both of us were in college at the same time. So we all picked up, both of us picked up where the other one left off, and we had a daughter at the time as well. So we were already married, in family and everything, but I think what helped us through that process was the fact that we both supported each other. We both understand what it took at that juncture to really survive as a family. And as Dennis mentioned earlier, I think what also played a key role was our friendship. We shared the same values. We talked and we spoke about everything. That's something we still do. We talk about everything.
Just to add too, if I may, in terms of because we traveled, we went to Jamaica at a university, and I think because you're in a different country, foreign country, you're making friends. So basically, you're forced to be with each other as well. The context itself would have dictated so many different things. So of course that would have helped in cementing the relationship, that would have helped in really gelling it and even strengthen the friendship as well.
You wanted to add something?
No.
Okay, so my next question is, how soon did you start your family after you got married? Because you said you went to
Came a year
college and then
after.
you had
A
your
year
daughter.
after.
Isaiah came along a year after. And we went to college when she was what? She made 5 in Jamaica. So it was some time
When she was
after.
4,
Yeah, we
99,
left here and
yeah.
when she was 4, and then she made 5 in Jamaica. So
Because that would have been my next question. How did you manage being in college with a young baby, but she wasn't that young?
no, she wasn't that
No,
young. No, no.
No.
But I must say though, because when he finished his studies in Jamaica, we were transferred to Guyana, and when we actually had a baby in Guyana. Well, I left from Jamaica pregnant, so came back to St. Martin, had her, and then we left from here. She was 6 weeks at the time, and we went to Guyana. And then while in Guyana, at 3 months, I went back to college because I did not finish my studies. I transferred, and I had Macaria at the time, and she was 3 months. Yes, 3 months when I went back to college. So again, having husband, children, 2 children now, but thank God for my mom, because my mom traveled with us at that time, and my mom assisted greatly in helping with childcare at that point, but she only stayed for a period of 3 months, and then she returned back to St. Martin. So, you know, it was quite a bit of a challenge, but I think it was also quite a bit of an experience, and I saw it as an experience. You know,
We got support.
yes,
too.
from other friends over there
correct.
in Guyana, so it wasn't that bad. It
So I
wasn't
think
that bad at
support
all.
was the key that really helped in terms of really steadying the family, basically. You know, support played a big role in that. You know.
Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to take some questions from the audience.
Okay.
Stay tuned, we will be right back.
BE has been faithfully serving the communities of St. Martin, powering your home and our economy. Come rain or shine, our qualified team of professionals are working hard 24 hours a day to provide you and your family with safe, reliable electricity and water. We use the latest technologies and test our products daily to maintain the highest international standards. Our friendly staff is always there to assist you, whether in person, over the phone, or online. We are committed to constantly improving our products and services, making them more efficient, effective, and environmentally friendly to serve you better today and our next generation of clients tomorrow. GEBE, powering.
We will be continuing on our discussions on relationships with the Baptists. We will now be taking some questions from the audience.
Good afternoon. I would like to know, how do you see the youth today let's say in comparison to how you all met and the age that you got married and the level of preparation mentally, spiritually, do you see our youth today being able and ready to take such a step?
I would say yes. A lot has to do with the support around you. Secondly, it also has to do with you actually understanding what the step you're taking, marriage, what it's all about, understanding family, understanding your roles. Not just your role as a husband, but your role as the wife, but the role that you play within the family context. And so it's not impossible in today's society. It also simply means that a lot of sacrifice, people don't like to hear the word sacrifice. Sacrifice in the sense of sometimes it also means that the things that you want to do, we live in a society right now where our wants supersedes our needs. And the things that you want to do at this time and place may not happen in this time and place, but it also means that not that it doesn't happen at all, it can happen, but it means that you understand the fact that you would have to probably just shift it up a little bit, not put it off totally, but shift it up, right? Prioritizing the right way, knowing what you're all about as well. That's how I
Just
look at it.
to add, if I may, that I also believe it is possible. However, we note that culture doesn't encourage it as back in our time, in our day. Even then it was difficult, mind you. But I firmly believe that once the support systems are in place, I think that can go a long way if the individuals are open for support. Because most times persons really believe that once you fall in love, that's it, and no one can tell you anything or inform you, educate you, instruct you, etc. I think once you're open for that support, I think that will really go a long way in terms of the relationship, and also to understand that even at that stage, you don't have it. In fact, sometimes you don't know anything. It's about growing, evolving, developing. I would add that.
Good evening. I have a question
Good
to
evening.
ask. You mentioned that within 2-3 years you proposed to your wife. Do you think in today's society, with so many social ills and deficiency in the family, deficiency in commitment, etc., do you think 2-3 years is still sufficient for courtship before marriage?
I wouldn't add no time period. I think in a case like this, it's not dependent on time. I think it depends on the individuals involved. So maybe 2-3 years might be okay for us, but for another person, 2-3 years maybe insufficient, inadequate, I don't know, too long, etc. So I think it is dependent on the individuals, not a time period per se. You know, that would be my response to that. Where are you, the individuals?
I think you all spoke of a great together loving relationship. But at this point in time, especially in St. Martin, I'm sure for the past 22 years, you all have seen many divisions in different families, many families broken apart. What would you suggest, or what would you give an indication on when it comes to relationship that people can look at to maintain a proper relationship as good as yours? Is it religion? Is it the friendship? Is it the family ties? I would like you to let the public know.
Just before you go, Elincia, let me just say though, in terms of good as ours, I wouldn't say that. I would say that we are evolving. We continue to grow together, make mistakes together. So in terms of a perfect relationship, no, I don't think so, because we're imperfect people, and so that is reflected in the relationship. I'll let Elincia respond further.
I think, and I support what he says in terms of that we are not perfect. Our relationship is by far not perfect, but you grow every day. You know what you want out of life. You know what you want out of the person you're with, right? And I think some key principles in a relationship is respect, right? As one key principle, respect. Respect each other. You respect each other's dreams, knowing and understanding each other's dreams. And I think maybe what has helped us along the way, both of us share the same things in a lot of different ways, right? We are each other's friends. So friends, we don't have much friends. So when it comes to the body thing, we do the body thing. Sometimes it's very difficult to kind of take off one cap as wife and put on the body thing, but you try your best to do that. You understand the person that you're married to, because I think what happens a lot of times, and especially in today's society, I think we get caught up on the romantic aspect of a relationship. So we think about the sex, we think about that good part of life, but we don't take it we don't spend time understanding the rest of the relationship, taking time to understand the individual that you're married to. That person comes in a package. That person isn't just the sex. The person is a whole person, right? And it means that you have to understand that whole person that you're married to, the good and the bad. And I also believe, this is my philosophy, that sometimes in a relationship, if something bad happens, we nag and we take that bad thing and we make it the whole person. That is just one aspect of the individual. That one thing doesn't speak for the whole individual. The person is made up of so many different things. And, you know, I'll stop there.
At what point do you really realize, both of you, that, you know, I have to take this cue that it is now the wife cap or the husband cap? And what type of support do you get from family members or your support group when things go wrong?
Okay, I would want to put in a little gender thing here, right? Because I think as women, I think we tend to, we know how to multitask a lot sometimes. And I put myself in that category. Although you're not effective in multitasking, right? I believe that being sensitive to the person's needs, right? You kind of know when to switch off and switch on, right? You don't always play the role right. You don't always do it right. But I think also being honest, the other partner being honest to say, well, you know, listen, I want a wife right now, you know, I really need to just talk. You know, I can't wait for a wife and this kind of loving thing. No, I just need to be a man, or I need to whatever. And of course, as a woman, you could never fulfill the role of a man because you're a woman, right? But I think what is important is that you lend that ear, that supportive ear. You be there for the person even in their vulnerable, in their stage of vulnerability. You be there for that person also. And I think that's what makes a difference.
Just to add to that, I think it is important to be deliberate in terms of the developing the relationship. You would have to set things. This is something that Ilincia keeps speaking to in terms of ensuring that we still date, you know, things of that sort. So I think there are certain things you need to be deliberate about. Because with the children and homework and balancing all of that and work and everything else, you really need to set time, a scheduled time for meaningful communication, meaningful interaction, where you are speaking more of the love story, if I should put it that way, rather than just the father, the mother, that sort of thing, or even the friend. So I think I think there you feel it. There's this intuitive way of knowing, especially when you live together for some time, and you just run with it. You know, you just run with that feeling, and most times it's not always correct, but most times it is.
Well, we'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the discussion on relationships.
Bob, I see you got a new couch. Now you don't have anything else to worry about. Uh-oh, but don't worry about it. With your Be Sure home insurance, the contents of your home are all covered for free.
Are you be sure? Be sure.
Yeah, for free.
Hi, and welcome back to A Better Place. So in this segment, I want to talk a little bit about your family. You said you have 3 daughters.
Yes.
And again, in your role as a social worker and pastor, how is it raising 3 girls?
I say pretty easy. I would say pretty easy. I think the difficult part is that not being able to offer certain things that they would want, the financial thing, but that's not an issue. I also think the difficult part is now, society now, you're old school and having to keep up with trends, understand what's going on. I think parenting in today's society is quite challenging because you're working, so you're not there all the time with the kids. You send them into a school environment. Sometimes you try to place your children aligned to your value system. However, even in trying to do that, sometimes that is a challenge because they are faced with other value systems. But I think in all, you try as best as you can to prepare them to be able to face whatever they are encountered with on a daily basis. So I would say it's challenging, but yet it's a blessing. It's also, I think, an experience that I would not trade in for nothing else. We love our girls, I think we complement each other, because when it comes to the fun part of life, that's Dennis. Dennis is the fun parent. He's the one that plays, that does those types of things. So I think we kind of complement each other when it comes to those things.
Well, thanks once again for being on the program, and we will bring you back for a part 2 where we discuss your professions and how you assist others when it comes to relationship. Thank you once again. I would also like to thank you, the viewing audience, for having been a part of A Better Place, and also my sitting audience. Thank you so much, and stay tuned for our part 2 with the Baptists.